September 27th is a special day. It's the beginning of 40 Days for Life in Taiwan and the beginning of the end of abortion. But it's also a special day for me personally. September 27th was my first date with Mei Ying 2 years ago today. I'm very happy to say that next week here in Hong Kong, we will be married. I can't imagine starting 40 Days for Life without Mei Ying's support. And I could tell several stories, but I'll tell just one. A few weeks ago, Mei Ying and I visited an older lady, and this woman had a very difficult childhood. Her father had money and sent her to school, but she had bad eyes, and she had to quit primary school. Later, her family lost everything, and they moved to Hong Kong. This woman got married, and she eventually gave birth to 9 children. She was half blind. She lived in a poor village in Hong Kong. Her life was really very hard. And then she got pregnant again. They did not want to have this baby, so they got medicine to take care of the problem. The medicine caused so much physical pain. It was so traumatic, but it didn't work. The baby kept growing, and eventually the woman stopped trying to have an abortion. She gave birth to a healthy, beautiful baby girl, and she named her Mei Ying. And the baby grew up, and her life was hard too, but she became the most amazing person in the world. And next week I'm going to marry her. I'm so grateful to God that the abortion didn't work, and I'm so grateful to my mother-in-law for raising such an amazing girl. Mei Ying is really amazing, and Hong Kong is a better and richer and happier place because she's here. She's amazing. But that's not the reason that it was wrong to abort her. It was wrong to abort her because when she was in her mother's womb, she had human dignity. She had human DNA. She had a tiny human heartbeat. And it's the same heart now as it was then. The same heart, the same DNA, the same dignity, and the same destiny. And it's not a good choice to delete that destiny. 40 Days for Life is in countries around the world. It's hard to end abortion everywhere, not only in Chinese culture. You will hear people say, the culture can't change. This is just the way it is. Please don't believe it. The culture is always changing. Imagine that you lived 40 years ago and I told you, guess what? Soon it will be illegal for Chinese people to have large families, and hundreds of millions of Chinese women will be required to get abortions. You would not believe it. You would think I'm crazy, because it's impossible for Chinese people to accept that, right? Most Chinese people live in the People's Republic of China, and it's illegal to give birth if you have 2 children, or if your husband doesn't sign the birth papers, or if you're not married. And hundreds of millions of Chinese women have been required by law to get abortions. But in Hong Kong and Macau and Taiwan, it's not the law, but it's the culture that requires you to get an abortion. So, change the culture. Isaiah 1:17 says, "Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow." That's what you're doing. You're doing what's right. You're seeking justice through prayer and fasting and intercession. And the fatherless includes the preborn, and the widow includes the mother who has been abandoned by her boyfriend, husband, society, who needs protection and assistance and maybe even legal counsel and the compassionate support that groups like PSC give. God really cares about justice. God says so many times, hundreds of times in the Old Testament, that he wants his people to do justice because he wants to bless them. Justice for the orphans, justice for the widows, justice for the workers, justice for the foreigners, compassion, generosity, sacrifice, give to the poor. And then suddenly, what's the last prophecy of the Old Testament? Turn the hearts of parents to their children. This is part of God's plan for justice and righteousness on the earth, and it's what the church does. Turn the hearts of parents to their children. And that's what you're doing. So, 加油!